Hey everyone, I'm Newave Oceans, and I'm going to be showing you a breakdown of Rising Star. So first, to start off, I'm going to switch to my MacBook, because obviously from this view you guys can't see anything. So let's just hop over there right now. Alright, so now we're on my MacBook Pro, and so I'm going to show you guys Rising Star. Oh, what? Hold on, this isn't Logic. I think that was the original melody. I think it might have been this. Yeah, it was probably this. This is probably what started like the idea. I think it's alchemy. I can't even find this instrument for some reason. Anyways, oh, here we go. This is what happens when you don't use Logic for a while. It's probably this. Well, that actually sounds pretty good too. Who knows, maybe VIP version coming very soon. That is really great. So, anyways, VIP version might be on the way. But anyways, so let's turn that back. So, first, I kind of started off like this. You have this melody here. And then add this on top. And really all that was is just a piano melody, which I think is really the basis of the entire melody of this whole song. Let me turn up the gain on my microphone. And that literally right there is the base of the entire song. I know it sounds crazy, but when they make music, it's just like, oh wow, so you just like, so it's gonna be really complicated. And really, music at its heart is very simple. There's not really that many real notes. I mean, because if you have like the basic notes, so there's like, I don't know. Yeah, you know what? I'm terrible at music theory, which is what's hilarious, because I produce music, but I'm not sure I'm really like great at music theory. It's more just listen. If it sounds good, that's great. So, anyway, so let's see right here. And then you have these strings here. And that really just gives it sort of an undertone right there. But there's not a lot of things in here that... I mean, this song itself, I think when people see music, they think it looks really complicated. But it really comes down to layering and oftentimes repeating a lot of melodies. But really the key is making it so that you can't tell it's being repetitive. So let's... let me move on to like some of the background effects. Like there's things like this, like you wouldn't notice unless you have headphones on, but even then it's very subtle. So if I play this snare hit, that seems really intrusive, but if I play it with the song, so you can see it fits right in there. And so anyways, let's move on to the other things in here. So it's a lot of layering. So here's another part of that layer. And this just kind of gives it a bit of movement. But yeah, actually, I didn't really quite show the piano melody, but yes, here is the piano melody of literally Rising Star. Whoa, glitch there. That is probably because I'm using the M1 chip probably, and Apple Silicon's kind of a bit iffy with Logic, but it works. Anyway, so excuse that lack of quality, but anyways, it's probably just due to, yeah, anyways, it's just probably due to compatibility issues, but I mean, I never really thought about it until I decided to do a video like this, but I think it really only affects the piano, so I think you're all just gonna have to forgive that quality. Sorry about that. So anyways, let's move on to this other layer. And again, it's just repeating melodies. So I'm just gonna do a shameless plug here to my friends at Skrem Citae. Follow Skrem Citae, and while we're on the topic of ambient, follow Skremzy music too. So anyways, let's get back into it. Sorry, that was distracting. So right there is basically the start of the bass line, and I'm going to mute the vocals because so you can hear more of the melody. And I don't know if you can really hear that, but I think I'll just start off like this. Let's start off with and I'll start adding the instruments, and you can hear how it starts layering. And so that is the intro, or I guess the beginning, and then you kind of, actually, maybe I'm gonna go over the vocals now. So here we go, let's get started with the vocals. So, pretty straightforward and simple. Actually, I should zoom in here so you guys can see some of the melodies, but... Can you see the stars? And that is a vocal sample right there, and the thing about it is, yes, it does look like it's almost clipping, but I figured out, especially for these songs, you want to try to get the best vocal you can possible, and the key is actually to keeping the vocal consistent throughout the entire piece. Even if you sing quietly, get a good sample first, then you can tone it down later. At least that's my opinion, I mean, but I think that's what really works the best. So, yeah. And you can see these little drum patterns, and actually I should focus on some of the drums. So this is the beginning drum beat, and it's remarkably simple. It's just a bunch of hi-hats, and then once you get to the latter part of the I don't know if that's even the right way to say it. The later part of the beginning, I add like the kick. And yes, it's really plain, and the thing I've figured out is oftentimes you think the drums are too loud, but then when you throw in the main melody, it starts drowning out the drums. So oftentimes the drums sound overpowering by themselves, but once you add the melody in, it really just is helpful to have all that more gain and volume. So, alright, so let's move on to this section. That was actually strange, but anyways, I'm gonna break this down first. So, again, we still have that same thing from the beginning. You can hear it. I mean, not really much has changed here. And then there's that little thing going up, but So first of all, I'm going to mute the vocal here so you can't hear it, but so you have basically these two repetitive things again. And they're just really part of the melody, and then you have this synth on top. And then I added this organ here. It's not too noticeable. And sort of gives it that retro vibe. I really like this 60s organ, and probably my other music colleagues, or I don't even know how to say this, but other fellow producers probably think I use 60s organs too much. But this is a video I'm doing, so you can't really say anything about it, so yeah, too bad. Okay, so now let's get up to the rising part. So that is built out of at least, I think, 3 elements. So you have this riser, and yes, this is a sample, but I mean, in terms of things like risers, you are going to get them from a sample most of the time, unless you're doing something like, I don't know, dubstep, where you design your own probably. And really, that sounds really intrusive, but it'll make sense when you listen. It makes sense when you listen to the entire thing. So then you have this beat. And so you can hear it, that just goes like that. And then you have this thing, which I showed earlier, but I didn't really explain it. And then let's throw just those elements, and then you can hear it. Yeah, that is an absolute vibe. But anyways, so then when you throw it all together, alright, so now let's get to the chords. I'm going to hide this section just so I can show you more of this melody. So let's expand this here, and you can see it's a lot of layering again. Let's start off with the basics. You still have this melody here, and you're probably wondering, why do we have this melody again and again? Well, because this is a poppy song, you're gonna have a lot of repetitive stuff. Like, I think if you get deeper into electronic music, there's a lot more customization. Yeah, again, there's my friend Skrem Citae who does a little bit more on that side, and he customizes the sounds a lot more. But in my particular case, because I'm doing poppy stuff, most of the time it's just modulating or just playing around with the alchemy instruments. But I mean, music, I think, honestly, is not necessarily how you get there. It's just really about how it sounds most of the time. So how do I create that entire really huge sound? So I'm going to mute the vocals again. So let's start with this. Again, we have this melody, and now we'll layer something else on top. And that's very sub, and you don't really hear it, but then we layer the other bass on top. And then let's add these horns are here. I don't think these are very apparent. I don't think you can quite hear them in the song, but they're just there. You can sort of hear them. And then let's add these strings. And then the long horns. And then you can hear this staccato. I'll mute this so you can sort of hear it. And again, not all this you can necessarily hear right off the bat, but it's one of those things you just, when you listen on headphones, all these little elements just contribute to that final amazing sounding thing. And then you have the melody again. Da 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 da. Da, 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 da. And then also I added this little bit of I don't know, it's a riff, I guess. And it just makes it sound so much nicer. I mean, you hear it, just the piano. It just makes it sound so much better. Alright, I'm going to turn this back on. So now let's add the bells again. And you can see it's starting to take a lot more shape. And then let's add the drums. And you see it's just a simple snare hit for this drum. And that's what I started off with the drum sequence. It was just really just a snare hitting, and then I added like the kick sort of. It's sort of like going back and forth, sort of. Yeah, now it's just like vibing right there. And now let's add more on top. There's sort of this 8-bit thingy here. I'll mute. So yeah, there's sort of that 8-bit. Okay, and now once we add that 60s organ again. It just fills that high. Honestly, I thought the one thing that was missing was a lead. I think this depends on the artist, but sometimes when you have vocals, it still sounds empty. I mean, at least to me. So I added like another lead on top, even though there's already enough here that you could probably get away without this, but it's just, it's just basically, I guess, my style. But it's a little bit sharp, but it is a little bit sharp, but you honestly, when you have this much stuff and you're trying to mix it all together, you do kind of need to make it that sharp. But yes, it does make it sound a little bit more unique. Alright, so let's start moving on because we've only just touched the beginning section. I should get to explain the rest of it for you guys. But anyways, then you have this section. Again, this is just a bunch of strings. Same thing. We still have this melody, but on different instruments. Sort of a echoey lead there. And then this arpeggiator, it's just amazing. So let's add the strings back in. And then I added some like acoustic drums right here. Let me just turn this off because this is really distracting. And then again you have that snare, which I explained that I used out of the chorus sections and not really in them, as you can see, just because you can't really hear it. And yes, it does sound really intrusive, but it gives it a bit of a more spacey feel, I guess. And then you have these other drums I've layered on top. And you know what? I should show a bit more of these melodies, but yes. So you guys can see them. Yep, just simple things like chords. nothing like crazy. I mean, yeah, look at this. I mean, it's not like rocket science. Music is remarkably simple, even though it can be complex. It is remarkably simple at the heart of it, so. I also wanted to differentiate something here, so, and also while I'm speaking, I really love this audio fader on the MacBook. This is really helpful for doing something like this. So I basically have this guitar synthy thing. It just separates the previous section from this section and gives it sort of a progressing feel and not like it's stationary and sort of repeating itself. And then we're back to here, and this basically is this but extended. So it's basically the part of the song where it takes a break before it goes back to the chorus. And really what you want to do here is kind of just make that low part sound different, but still have parts of the element from the other break, I guess. It's more of a bridge, to be honest, I guess. And yeah, the staccato strings probably play a bit more of a role here. Alright, so again, piano melody, simple. Four chords, very simple, nothing crazy. And then we have basically the final chorus, which is basically a repetition, but different. And how did I make it sound different? Well, acoustic drums. You're like, what? Yes. Absolutely love this beat. I mean, this is basically how you get things to sound different. You can throw different drums on them. You can switch up some instruments, but basically, or throw in a new melody or something, just something to make it sound different. And I always love doing this rock riff right here. So it's like, and then yeah, you get the sense it's like da 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 da. Obviously, I think this is a general breakdown. I mean, I think in the future I could go more into depth into maybe the effects, but honestly, this is just an overall song breakdown, and that would probably take close to an hour, which I also want to cover a different song. So obviously, I'm not going to have time to cover everything here, but yeah, I'll probably release something like that on the Newave Oceans channel. I mean, that's not a promise, that's not a guarantee, but hopefully, maybe. We'll see how this does, I guess. And then this violin. Yes. Absolutely yes. Just great. Like, yes. So and now let's just show some of the vocals, I guess, even though I guess I've gone over this, but
all the time there's a rising star clear out in the bright night sky. Do you believe miracles?
And then layering the vocals too. And oftentimes, this is actually not too hard. The strategy I use is I put on headphones and I sort of monitor the audio. I guess if you can say that, and I listen to the original vocal and I basically try to imitate it in a different key. And it's mainly because I need the song to be in my ears when I'm singing, because it helps me to sing. And I guess that's how most artists do it, but I don't know. I mean, I can't imagine not having the song to sing to, because it's hard to hear the beat and whatnot when you're just like silent looking at the visuals. Okay, so I guess you guys can just listen to this go out then. And this is a breakdown of Time Flies. So first, let's switch to my MacBook. Alright, so here we are in Time Flies. Obviously, whenever I do things, I always give it like a code name. I don't know, I'm weird like that, so in case I film it or something, it's not revealing the name right away. And also, yes, I should save it before everyone in the comments starts telling me, save your stupid project. Alright, so let's start off with the piano. Very simple beginning melody. There you go. And then you have this little background thing. It's like kind of a little plucky synth. These strings. You're kind of playing a repeating melody with a bunch of chords. And you have this thing which is basically just playing an E flat and an F repetitively. And yes, it's probably going to get annoying, so I'll stop. Then you have these horns, which is the backbone of this entire section here. And then yes, these strings, I thought they sounded a bit synthy, but to be honest, it works. But because this is like electronic music, even though it is orchestral, it's kind of an electronic type EP, or sort of electronic poppy based EP, so it's fine. And yes, that's a stock Logic one. Obviously, if you were to create some really nice violin, you would want to get something called Spitfire Labs, and that is it's basically a bunch of free instruments by a studio in London, and it's actually really good, and I highly recommend it. So yeah, definitely go check that out if you're starting out as a musician or a producer and you need some orchestral instruments. Don't spend money, just go there and get some free instruments. Yes, and also you probably notice I'm on my face cam. So now let's get back to the MacBook now. Alright, so I'm going to stop that there. So again, you have a different piano melody this time, but still very simple. It's just basically, if you compare these two, it's this melody. And then with a little bit of things on top, I guess nuances, I guess if you want to call it that. Very nice sort of sentimental feel, which is obviously what I was going for here. I was going for sort of a nostalgic, sentimental, very uplifting song. Now we have our strings, staccato, strings. Alright, some horns. And then here you have, for the finishing melody, added something a little bit different. Also, I just realized I haven't actually showed what I am doing. So I'm going to take a video on my iPhone. So 1 second. Alright, so this is what the studio looks like. It's pretty humble. I mean, not too much stuff here. That's the camera I'm using. It's an A6400 for your information. If any of you guys are looking for a camera to film, highly recommend. This is the MacBook I use to produce. It's a 2020 M1 MacBook Pro. Pretty great. I mean, I haven't had any problems with Logic, and obviously have a pop filter there and a Bluetooth speaker, which actually I don't use very often because it kind of glitches every so often. But oh yeah, Blue Yeti microphone. And these headphones are from Amazon. They're like One Audio or something like that. I don't know, but they sound good. So whatever. It's not about the brand name necessarily. But yeah, and also I do photography. All right, so let's get back into here and all right, so let's get back here, and yes, that was distracting, but here we go. Back with the string synth. And then we have these drums. Absolutely love that beat. Don't you just love that beat? Yes, this is absolutely yes. And then I have a sub bass. I don't know if you can hear it, but something you're only gonna hear on headphones, but still makes the mix a little bit more thick. And now these strings up here. Actually, I might have already showed that, but anyway, so you put it all together and you get this. So naturally, it's like when I'm producing this, I'm like, how do I top that? And obviously, with music, you kind of can't keep going on and on with a really good, okay, this doesn't really make sense, but I think the way I see it is like you can't keep going on with, like, I guess a chorus, if you will, because eventually it's going to get old and you have to change it up. So I developed this very wintry sounding piano melody. 2 notes, just very simple. And technically speaking, if I go like this and divide this, you can actually sort of see this. It's basically the same repeating melody, same notes. I just basically copy and pasted it like twice here, and then added some little bit different mood, I guess. Or, I don't know what I'm saying, but different pattern. It's actually just changing this note here, because this note actually just belonged here. Just gives it a little bit of newness, I guess. Alright, and then accompanying that is some strings. Very subtle, but so then you have this. So here's your melody. So yeah, you have their melody, and then you have some more staccato strings. And this gives that anticipation of it building up. And then drums again. Repetitive, basically kick, snare, kick, snare. Then we have this, which is just some hi-hats with a cymbal. Again, we have the sub bass, but just kind of a little bit more boring, I guess. Just kind of going up. Do, 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 do. Alright, so, and then got these horns. Some staccato, some legato. So now let's listen to that all together. So then you have that, and then to give it something new, go back to that melody. Yeah. And then go back to the chorus, which is what I love to do. Sort of throw it back in. And then I love this rock riff. It's more like a drum riff. very fun. It's like da 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 da. So anyways, then you have these drums. Same melody as before in the chorus, but now we have added things. So we now have the horns playing that melody again, I think. Oh wait, no, this melody from the violin on the horns. Horns are very powerful. I think you should use them sparingly. If you oversaturate with the brass, if you oversaturate with the brass, it just sounds too thick and kind of drowns out everything else. So use it sparingly, and it's mainly as a backbone, I think. Unless the song you need it to be like in the forefront, I guess. And then you have this boxy guide lead, which is basically just a synth. Again, repeating a melody. I think it's from here, actually. Yes. From the staccato string. So anyways, that's copy and pasted. This is all the same melody. And you even have this. Actually, I did something special here. So, but actually, let me show you this first. So, you have the strings. Basically, same thing from the beginning. Now you have this. Also, same thing. Staccato playing something a little bit different. What the piano was playing earlier. And then I added this. Here. Then back this. And then at the end, I was like, alright, that sounds pretty good. And then you have this choir, so just, I think whenever you get too far, it's just like, how do I make this sound fresh? It's like, add a choir. Again, this is from Spitfire Labs. Definitely check them out. This is not sponsored by them, okay? So, I just really like their instruments, and they sound great, so. So let's play the ending without this last staccato little thing I've done. And obviously that sounds really good as it is, but once I add this, just makes it sound so much better and more satisfying. Then I keep the horns here. And then the drums still going. But then switch that melody to the piano. And then you get this. Well, it actually makes more sense after this here. Basically same melody as the beginning. And that's really what it is. It's starting a story and ending a story. They're basically just a little bit different, and that's it. And all right, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Check out DJ sets that Skrem Citae and Skremzy are doing. But yeah, so see you later. And this is Newave Oceans signing off.
electrifies my soul.
Hey everybody, welcome to the new Skrem Citae special podcast, where we talk about stuff Phoenix related. I am joined here today with my friends Newave, Skremzy, and myself, Swamp Citae. We also are known by the name of James, Tristan, and Swamp Citae. By now, I hope that you guys know we're doing a Phoenix event. We do this every summer, or at least this is the second year, so it's not really a pattern yet, but just know that this is going to be planned for the future. and I hope that we will do more podcasts as we go on. So, what are we talking about today?
I think we should start. We should talk about Phoenix Artistrys' conception and how it's grown and how we came to be here. We could also talk about our how we all started making music. I
Yeah.
guess.
All right.
To be honest, the reason why I started this label was because I kind of didn't want to pay for SoundCloud Pro myself. I felt like that was a waste of time. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to create an account. It gives me extra hours to upload music. Ends up, I do pay for SoundCloud Pro, but we don't talk about that. Um,
So after we made we did the whole launching of Phoenix Artistries, right? We released the first song Voyage by Skrem Citae, of course.
mhm.
And I think to date that's probably still our most played song.
I'm
If I'm
pretty
not-
sure
Yeah.
half of the plays are probably by me.
Yes.
Let's not talk about that. So after Swamp here released Newave Oceans, James, he released what was it? Wait, no. You released your Transcend EP first before Newave Oceans came.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did, and then Newave Oceans EP. What's it called? Dawn of War. I think.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? Yeah, that came out. And then Newave released Tales of a Forgotten Arcade right after that. And then I released my EP.
Wait. It was like Duel of the Realms.
Yeah, Duel of the Realms. That's what it's called.
Duel
Not
of the
Dawn of
Realms.
War. Dawn of War is one of the songs in Duel of the
Yes.
Realms.
Yeah.
So
Didn't
yeah, you
Atlantic
released-
Arcade get switched up with Duel of the Realms in track order or something?
Atlantic Arcade? That's one of my Red X releases.
Sorry. We have so many arcade albums.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
No, Tales of a Forgotten Arcade released after Duel of the Realms. It doesn't
Yeah.
look, it doesn't actually look correct on the SoundCloud page. I've never been able to fix that. But yeah, then I released my Headspace EP, which is a little two-track EP, and
By then,
From
we had
there-
all of our new Skrem Citae on there.
yeah, we had all of New Skrem Citae, and we're the original three and the main three as well.
Yeah.
We've released with a few other artists such as Andrew Marzek,
Chili Facts.
and Soul Cloud as well. Yeah, we've had a few people. And yeah, from there we've released a couple compilation albums. We've all released a few of our own albums and EPs and singles and stuff. And yeah, actually, what is one of your guys' favorite releases like from you on the label? So far?
Battle Cry. Hands down.
Battle Cry by me and you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, not hands down. It's tied with Fragments of Space.
Right. Yeah, you told me Fragments of Space is your baby.
Yeah.
For me,
Basically.
it's probably my mega album retrospective. I mean, what else is there to say about it? It's 30 tracks of just me basically recapping a bunch of memories and my life basically up until that point. It basically is a bunch of mini stories and just emotions and things put into an album so I would never forget them.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
why it's
not
called
sure-
retrospective.
Yeah. I don't know if Skremzy wants this to be on, but he can edit out if he wants. When he was working with me with the releases, he released he submitted the songs in chapters. So I think it was like 5 songs each. He released at once for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I submitted.
Yeah, so those I'm guessing are like the mini stories you're talking about.
Well, yeah. Those are kind of those chapters are kind of embrace mini stories, and then a lot of the songs also themselves are also like mini stories in the mini stories.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is.
I talked about my favorite track. You talked about your favorite album. My favorite album would definitely be the Revelation LP. That is just like
Of course.
definitely my best work out there yet. Who knows
Yeah.
though? As time goes on, it'll probably fade down in quality, but for now.
We're still in our young phase of production, so we're improving at a fast rate
Yeah.
as we learn more.
Yeah.
Yeah. James, what is your favorite release that you've put out on Phoenix?
Well, I think yeah, Tristan. I think there's like probably 2, I guess I'd say as of late. I feel like I like Rising Star and Time Flies a lot. Like, but I think I also like Reflection. But I think if I was to say my favorite, it's probably Rising Star at this point still.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could you
Yeah.
expand on that?
Um, I think I think the reason why it's my favorite is it's probably my favorite like vocal performance. So that I
Makes sense.
think it turned out really well. So I really liked it, and also I think it's because the song takes a lot of influence from Owl City and whatnot. So I also kind of like the vibe there too.
Yeah.
So it's pretty epic.
Oh,
Fair enough.
I was telling my dad, you guys should meet up someday because he's a hardcore Owl City fan.
Yeah, that sounds
You like Owl
nice.
City?
Yeah,
That's cool.
a lot.
That's cool.
Yeah. Well, recently, actually not so recently anymore. I don't know if many of you guys know, but we have kind of tied together with a label called Red X Records, and we share a few releases on there. Hopefully, we'll get some artists from Red X onto our label. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm talking to you guys, Red
Yeah.
X.
Red X, if you're
You're hearing this,
listening,
right?
if you're
Uh-huh.
listening, get release on Phoenix, please.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. It was actually Skrem Citae who found out about Red X Records.
Yep.
Funnily enough, I was the first one of the three of us that released on it.
Yeah, I'm not sure what took me so long.
Yeah, it was like, hey, I found this cool label. It's kind of similar to us. We should release music on it. And I'm like, okay, sure. I make a song and then I submit it to them, release it. And Tanner's still here, just like, not even hasn't even submitted a song to them.
I think it was till 2 months after you
Was I the
released your
first
song.
one? Was I also the first one to join their Discord server?
No,
Oh yeah,
I
you
was the
joined it
first.
before.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, but I released first, which was
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
that is.
And that was
I'm
when
not
I
sure what's
released
going through
my
my head.
that was when I was released my song Endurance, which was probably that was the first time I legit tried to make a full on dubstep song. I mean, granted, it was more like synthwave mixed with dubstep, but like still, I was like,
Yeah.
hey, I made a dubsteppy thing. I should put this on the more dubsteppy label. And yeah, here we are.
Yep. What screams dubstep like Red X?
Exactly. I mean, just look at the logo. You see that, and you're like, oh, that's some dubstep right
That's
there.
bold.
You look at our logo, and you're like, oh, that's just gonna be indie music. I mean, we got some indie music, mostly
also
from
got
Newave
dubstep.
Oceans. Yeah, but we also got dubstep. We got house. We got dark ambient from yours truly. And we got some orchestral stuff too.
Yeah.
From all of us. I
From
don't
all of
know
us,
what's
yeah.
with all of us and the obsession with orchestral.
Yeah, what is it with all of us and our sort of classical
But-
orchestral?
You know what I've
Right.
also noticed? It's not just us few artists. There is a huge amount of EDM artists that are really into orchestral music. And sometimes you'll see them making soundtracks for video games or stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. Like the Fat Rat. He's an artist I'm really into. I'm sure a lot of other people are. He's pretty popular. But I mean, he makes video gaming music, but he's also really into orchestral music. It's a very interesting combination. He actually made a sound pack for Dota 2 a while ago, and that was very orchestrally with some EDM stuff mixed in.
Yeah,
Thought that was interesting.
basically epic orchestral. I
Yeah.
have listened to that out countless times.
I do not listen to enough epic orchestral. I'm more into like, I think I'm more into what people would call a classical crossover. It's where
Yeah.
like you mix classical music or orchestral music and stuff with electronic things.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know-
we have a resident classical crossover producer
Yes.
with us right now. Newave Oceans, do you want to tell us about a bit about how you've come to really enjoy making like electronic mixed with like pop and mixed with classical? How'd you come to that style?
Yeah. I think it ultimately comes down to probably, I think it's probably due to both my personality and just how my taste in music can sometimes shift depending on like the way I'm feeling or my emotion. Like, so, I mean, by nature, I'm like a social ambivert, so I can adapt to both being introverted or extroverted, which is actually surprisingly, even though it sounds kind of strange, it does actually work in practice, which is kind of funny. But The thing is, like with music though, oftentimes like I think if I'm feeling like a little bit sad or whatnot, I'll listen to like ambient or some poppy stuff or sometimes orchestral. But typically, if I'm happy, I usually listen to like more upbeat stuff and a little bit more intense stuff. So it kind of shifts depending on my mood. So yeah, so I think all the both those elements combined though kind of like it kind of forms basically my style. And also I think just because early on I think it was like, and you can see it with like Duel of the Realms, I just was like, I want to do orchestral but I also want to do electronic, and it was like, well, I can do both, so why not do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, probably the same with me. I'm like, hey, all these cool orchestral instruments, and I see, oh, all these cool synths. Why don't I combine them?
Best of
See
both
what I can
worlds.
make. Yeah, exactly. Best of both worlds.
And then
Um,
you take me, and then I put narration on top of that, all
yeah,
combined.
exactly. I've tried to do narration in my tracks. I just can't do it, so I'm just gonna leave that to you. Actually, no, that's wrong. I did do a bit of narration in Battle Cry. It was
Yeah.
the little speech thing. There was fun fact. There was a bit more, but we had to cut it back a bit because we need to have Skrem Citae's vocals.
Wait, wasn't
And
there
also,
another? Oh, sorry.
also there's a bit too much speech to fit into the bridge, so
Yeah.
I had to cut some off. Sadly, make it still work, but have a bit less.
Yeah. Maybe that scrapped speech audio. Maybe in a future song. Who
Maybe.
knows? Who knows?
Mm.
But like in Swamp's album, like didn't you do like some sort of narration?
Oh yeah,
He did a
every
lot of
song.
narration.
Every song. This is probably my most narrative album of all albums.
Yeah, that's why it's tagged as narrative. Some of the songs in SoundCloud.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like Courage, yeah, like both
Courage
those
had
songs
a
in
Sure.
it, yeah.
Courage
Yeah.
on the Rise LP had a slight bit of narration at the very end,
Yeah.
which I voice acted, by the way,
Fun.
and I did
Wait.
a voice acting for Battle
Wait,
Cry, as we've already talked
which
about.
songs are tagged as narration?
Not sure. We could check later though.
Oh well, the intro is.
Yeah, the intro is of course tagged as a narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, our collab on my album, Resolved. I mean, that didn't really have any narration, but at the end of it, you can hear you saying conflict, because funny enough, in the section that Resolved is in, like the chapters like that I was talking about, that chapter is called conflict, I think.
Yeah.
And then Resolved is like the resolution song in Conflict, and then it goes into the next 5 songs, which is the final chapter, which is actually called Resolution, which I nicknamed Resolution. So
I
that's
remember-
interesting.
I remember we had a lot of, no pun intended, conflict over that song.
Oh yeah, there was
Oh
there was some conflict over some. We always seem to have a bit of conflict when we're collabing, because we
Yeah.
have such varying styles and ways of doing things.
Yeah.
But I
I
mean,
think-
it always turns out good in the
Yeah.
end.
Because we know it's not personal. It's just kind of situational.
Yeah, it's just our styles clashing.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I gotta say, me and James and I's collabs though have been completely flawless. I don't know. Maybe I just don't want to repeat what I did with you.
Fair enough.
Maybe it's just because the style's slightly more similar. I don't know.
Yeah, it's slightly more similar because me and Newave Oceans take it more chill, while Skrem Citae is just like, I want to make bangers.
I can take it chill sometimes though.
Sometimes, yeah. We
I
got some
mean-
nice chill stuff.
Yeah.
Like
For example, Fallen Sanctuary.
yeah, Fallen Sanctuary is pretty good.
That's one of my favorite tracks too, actually.
Also, Tranquility. No, don't forget about
Tranquility.
Tranquility.
Tranquility, of
I
course.
love that song.
Yeah. That's one of the songs that actually aged the best, I think.
Yeah, I like
Actually-
Tranquility. I listen to it once in a while.
Wait, what was? I think I remember the first ambient song you showed me before, like Swan. Like,
It's probably.
what was
I
that called?
think-
I forgot.
Let me see. It's
Ocean
it's-
Breeze.
It was something.
Was it called
was
that?
like-
That's what the EP was called. I'm pretty sure. Ocean
Yeah.
Breeze.
Yeah, It was Inspire.
Yes, that
Yeah,
song.
Inspire.
That's great.
Yeah, I had
You know,
Inspire.
that actually is a good segue into how we all started making music.
Yes.
Skrem Citae, will you go first?
So it all started out. I was in school. It was about a half year after I joined. I didn't have many friends except for Skremzy, Tristan, and he was like, "Yo, want to try out some EDM?" And I was like, "You know what? Sure." Back then, I didn't have any bias against EDM because I literally did not know what EDM was. So I was like, "You know what? Sure, I'll join him in this music making course." And midway through, I was like, "You know what? I need this. This is my therapy. It literally is my therapy now." So I started making music. I started with like just presets and all that stuff. No really mastering. That's why it sounds kind of good at the beginning. Um, and then it kind of dropped in quality. I made a terrible song called "Go Down." Oh my goodness. I thought it was the best song at the time.
I remember that.
Uh-huh. And as time went on, I more than slowly progressed better. Within, I think, only 2 years now, I basically I produce pretty good stuff now. Not label quality for sure, though.
I mean,
Still
Phoenix
need to
is
wait a bit
technically.
longer. Okay, well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I got you. I
Professional
got you.
quality. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
quite there yet.
Studio
Not
label.
quite. Yeah. No, that's basically how I started.
Okay. Newave, how about you?
All right. Actually, the funny thing is that despite my style being a bit different from like Swamp Citae, he actually got me started in music. I can still remember when he was creating Inspire, like I mentioned earlier. That was back when I kind of actually in general I just didn't listen to music that much at all, and most of the time I just listened to like pop most of the time, and occasionally orchestral, which is really interesting. And I remember when Swamp or like yeah was showing me like in Logic Pro X like how to make music, and I was like, and I remember sitting there and thinking like, I don't think I'm ever going to do that, and I just kind of doubted the idea of making music because I was always like, but don't people have studios and whatnot? And I think that's one of the things that is probably confusing in today's age because a lot of people know about the movie industry, but in terms of the music industry, like there's a lot that you can do nowadays that you couldn't do back then in terms of like mixing and actually creating music, and there's all these possibilities. But um, I think it was just at one point I was like I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna try it and see if it turns out. And I remember saying to Swansea, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna try out Logic, and I think it just started from there. And obviously it it I think actually I would say Swamp City's Citae is really, I mean, I think you got me going into music production, like because I think I'd played around with like loops before and like whatnot, but
Yeah.
like it was like I think it dropped off at a certain point, and I was like, you know what, music's probably not gonna. I'm probably never gonna make a song or anything, and then seeing you made a song, and surprisingly it's called Inspire, which the hilarious part is it inspired me to actually make music, which is hilarious. But
Song was a foreshadowing.
yes. So I think if you're saying start, that's probably what got me started. Like
Yeah.
All right, so I guess we'll talk about how I started making music. So, buckle your seat, boys. Just kidding. So, it was 2016, and I was in middle school. I was sitting in my parents' bed, and I downloaded a game called Geometry Dash. I was like, I've heard about this. I should play this. I open up the game. I play Stereo Madness. I hear the first couple notes. I'm like, what is this amazing music? Why have I never heard of it? And yeah, I got really into electronic music over the years after that, and it was all because of Geometry Dash. Eventually, I learned that you can make music using this like this software called like a DAW, a digital audio workstation. I was like, hey, I should try that. So I downloaded. I looked for free DAWs, and one was LMMS.
Goodness.
So LMMS, I downloaded. I tried once. I was like, I don't know how to do this, and so I deleted it. I downloaded it again, maybe a couple months later. Tried it again. I was like, this is stupid. I don't want to do this. I deleted it again. I downloaded it a third time in the summer of 2019, and I decided, you know what? Let's actually try for real. And I finally just I finally buckled down and just learned how to use the software. And I don't know. I just started to fall in love with making music on my computer. I mean, eventually I stopped using LMS and I used Logic
Thank
shortly
heaven.
after. Huh?
Thank heaven.
Thank heavens. But yeah, before we get to the Logic part, I did make a whole album in LMS called Raw Frequencies, which I mean, it's not the best music, obviously. Although I am still proud of what I did as such a primitive producer back in the day. Anyway, I got Logic about like maybe a year and a half later, and that was shortly after Skrem Citae started releasing music. And here we are. I've released a bunch of EPs, the retrospective album. I actually have a new album coming out very soon. This is on this podcast is going up Sunday. You're gonna be hearing this Sunday during day 2 of the event. So my second single off my album is gonna be out a day after this podcast, and then I'll be releasing the full album sometime in September. Yeah, and I'm just excited for what's to come. We've all come a long way as producers,
Yeah.
and I'm hyped to see where we go from here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like your song Space Chip though in Element. Yes.
Oh, I love Space
That
Chip.
that was good.
Yeah. That's a classic.
That holds up really well.
I like Space Chip. You know, the thing is, I probably spent the least time on Space Chip. One of the least amount of time I spent on an LMS song was Space Chip.
That was the same with me for Apocalypse though. I think those songs were just pure inspiration. And because of that, everything went right.
Yeah, yeah. I find that like when I make songs really quickly, just from pure motivation and pure like enjoyment, and like it doesn't feel like a chore. I feel like I make the best songs. Like that's how I made Woodlands.
Yeah.
I was up at like 12 o'clock a.m. and I was like, I want to make a song, and I basically made 90% on Woodlands just that night.
Yeah. When it's not work, like I don't know. I think there's a saying. It's like if you love what you do, I mean, it's not work.
Yeah, yeah. And when it doesn't
Yeah.
feel like work, especially when it doesn't feel like work, you can
Well,
just
I hope
make
it's
some
not
really
work, it's a
awesome
hobby.
stuff. Yeah, it's a hobby. It's a great hobby. Nothing. I would trade nothing for it.
It's an advanced hobby.
It's an intellectual hobby, actually.
It's very intellectual.
Oh yeah.
I
Do you
wonder-
wanna? Oh, you go on.
Oh, I was gonna say, I wonder what other people think about us as producers. Like, are they weirded out? Are they intrigued? I really want to know what other people think about those types of that group.
Yeah, yeah. True. Yeah, like what people think of music producers.
Yeah. I feel like it's like a split between people either really like that group or they really hate it.
They probably are just like those are the guys that like show off their weird softwares and like they shake their cameras around and post on Instagram.
Yeah.
Those are the guys that post beat making videos on YouTube. Turning Crabrave into Megalovania gone wrong. Something like that.
Goodness.
I mean that is part of producer culture, but that's not the only things that you can see from us.
Yeah.
You know, deep down we are some real genuine people. We aren't just
Aliens. Actually,
we aren't just sociopathic aliens.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about myself. I've questioned if I'm an alien myself. I haven't had to go to the doctors in over 10 years, I like.
Wait,
There's a
actually?
lot of things I do
Wait,
crazy.
what?
In sniper games, I don't use the scope.
Okay, well that's just a flex. You just
Yeah.
no scope people.
Oh, there's some other cases. I don't mind nails on a chalkboard.
Oh, I don't know. I don't get you. How do you not like?
Yeah.
How do you like nails on a chalkboard?
I don't mind it.
How do you not mind that? That's such a horrible sound.
I don't know. I'm a dubstep producer. Of course, I don't mind it. Kind of screechy genre, don't you think?
I mean, I like dubstep as much as the next guy,
Yeah,
but
that's
like
true.
nails on chalkboard.
Oh goodness, I need to do chalkboard step.
No, stop, stop right there. No, oh no.
Oh, this will be the last song you listen to.
Oh, that reminds me. Like of the last that song you listened to. So I was reading this Reddit post earlier today about no, Reddit post, a YouTube video about Anastasia, and there was this comment about like how this person was like he was getting an anesthesia dose from his doctor because he was like getting a surgery or whatever. And
Yeah.
just before like he blacked out, the doctor's like, "This is the last thing you'll remember," and he blacked out right after that.
Bro.
I don't know. I just think that's. I know that this is completely off topic, but like, yeah, I think like drugs like that are pretty crazy, like medical
Beautiful
drugs.
timing. Have you seen the video of this person who's sitting after an operation, and then he's like, "Hey, how are you feeling?" And he's like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "I'm your dad." And he's like, "I have a dad." And then he starts going off on this whole rant about, "We
I think
have
I
you
s-
as a family member." And then he's sitting on a chair. He's like, "I have a chair."
I feel like I saw that on America's Funniest Home Videos at one point.
Oh yeah.
I swear I saw that video on AFV.
I think I've seen a video
Oh.
similar to that too. Like there was this video of this guy waking up apparently after a coma, and he was like something like, "Oh yeah, I remember the guy who was like, tell me your name," and the guy who got up from a coma was like yogurt, and I'm like, bro,
Yogurt.
yes.
No, this guy was literally celebrating that he had a name. Oh my.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah. Beautiful, very beautiful.
Mhm.
Oh, so it'll be interesting to see where Phoenix goes from here. Hopefully we get some more followers. Hint, hint. Hopefully we get some new artists. I'm
Hint,
really
hint.
interested to yeah. I'm really interested to see how this will grow. It hasn't grown much in the first 2 years, but
We're a very tight knit community right now,
yeah,
which I don't mind. But yeah, I want to see what we can do from here.
yeah. Hopefully at some point people will be like, "Hey, this label actually makes good music."
Exactly.
Who knows? Who knows?
Who knows?
It'll be fun. If that happens, you guys were along with us from the beginning of the journey, so thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for being
Very
here.
appreciative of that. Yeah.
I guess.
We appreciate you
What-
joining us on this venture so we can monetize our videos and make money off your viewing.
do we tell them to leave comments or something if they have questions? I guess.
That does help the algorithm.
Yeah.
I'm curious though. One last question. What do you guys want with the future of Phoenix?
I want Volume 4.
Of course, everybody does.
I mean, Volume 4 is happening. We just released Volume 3, so we'll have Volume 4 come out. What do I want with Phoenix Artistries? You know what I want?
What?
Eventually, I want more music. I just want to
Wow.
keep releasing music and doing what we love. Yeah.
You know what? I feel like Phoenix is good as it is. If it grows, it grows. But
And if
I
it
hope
doesn't?
stays the same.
If it doesn't, it's fine.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
Yeah, I really do hope that it stays the way it is. And it
Yeah.
doesn't branch off into some sort of
Weird corporation.
darker leanings.
Speaking of darker leanings, I make dark ambient music. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I make dark ambient music.
I make dark music.
I don't know. I mean, if you're asking what I want, I mean, I don't know. I always thought like eventually maybe get a building. I don't know.
Oh
No,
yeah, we can get an
I've always
office.
wanted that. And then we could like make a small stage, and then people could like have venues inside of there.
Yeah, and then we
That'd be
could
cool.
like hold actual like in-person like events.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
That'd
Like
be
a
awesome.
live stream camera.
And then-
Just get a video crew.
and then the stage could support the pay for the building.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we don't have to fall into severe college debt doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Which
We should
we'll
just start our
probably
own
do.
college at that point.
Music college.
New Skrem Citae College, only for the most advanced musical intellectuals.
You have to pass the intellectual test.
We are the best one-room college around. Don't worry, tuition is free.
It's like,
Gotta sleep
We
with the
pay
girls.
you to teach you. Wait, what did you just say?
wow.
Well, if it's one room, you get to sleep with the girls.
Oh my gosh. I never said it was on campus living. They'd have to pay for that themselves.
Yeah, no.
So there it is.
I doubt that I don't know. I doubt we'd have. First off, I doubt we'd have a building that like huge to begin with. It'd probably just be like it would start off smaller than.
No, that's why my saying isn't as pretty as it seems.
Hmm.
Because what I mean by sleeping in the same room, I mean you're literally piled on top of each other, suffocating.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that'd be funny. Getting back onto track.
Pun intended.
What's a favorite release of you guys like that you guys didn't release? Like what's a favorite
Oh.
release on the label that wasn't one of your own releases?
Oh. You want me to pick favorites here, or do you?
Yes.
Well, if
One.
I really had to, I would actually say Dream Rider, yes.
By Chili Facts?
Yeah.
All right. Why?
Boy?
Yeah, why?
Oh, why? I thought you said boy.
No,
Um,
why?
I love the classical infusion with that's just every Phoenix song. I don't know. It's so fun, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. And that song's also kind of memey, so it just has some fun. It just has overall fun to it.
Yeah. It has a lot of little details that keeps it interesting throughout.
Mhm.
And I know all of our tracks are unique, but that one is like, what genre is that? I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't even know if I can call it trance. I mean, we tagged it as trance because that's the closest genre
Yeah.
we can get. But like, I don't know. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, look, my comment 1 year ago, I said, very unique and creative, exclamation mark.
Exactly.
It sounds like I'm some sort of bot. Please follow Swamp Citae. Very unique and creative.
Please follow
content.
me. I can give you free SoundCloud followers.
Yes.
For me, I'd say, like a current favorite right now is your new song in your LP, Tanner, Invaders.
Oh yes, the video.
I love
game style.
Invaders so much. It is very video gamey, and it's just so amazingly fun sounding, and also fun to just dance around to and rave in my room
Yeah.
aimlessly.
Oh.
Yeah, I just love that song. What about you, James? What's one of your favorite releases on the label from someone else other than you?
Okay, I don't really like to pick favorites like Swamp, but if you're asking me like the latest one, I don't know. I really like Legacy from Skrem Citae. It just has, it's like nostalgic. It's upbeat, and then it's also kind of chill in some parts, and it's just vibe.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like higher except done right.
Right.
Yeah.
Almost. Yeah.
Nostalgia is just great. I don't know. I think that's one of the things I really like to produce in music, the nostalgia feel.
Fun fact about Legacy. That song actually was a long abandoned project. I think I left it for at least half a year before picking
Interesting.
it back up. Because I was like, you know what, this is a good melody. I'm gonna remake this. Ended up
Makes
turning out
sense.
pretty well.
Yeah, like I've had songs that like I basically I don't touch for like half a year, and then I come back, I'm like, oh, I should return to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was this one song recently I was looking back on, like this ambient thing, and I was like, oh, why have I not made a new draft of this? I need to get back to it. I need to get back into it. I mean that song that track is only like it's probably like maybe like 5 months, not half a year old, but like I looked at it today. I'm like, wow, I need to I need to work on this somewhere.
That's
I love it.
That's the magic of combining an old song with your modern producing skills. You get the creativity of the old projects, but you get the professionalism of your new stuff, which is why it's another reason why I'd advise like early producers to just spam as many projects as you can. Even if you don't finish, even if it's just an idea, get so many ideas out there, because when you're in a brain blink, you'll be like, you know what? This is a cool idea. I'm going to remake this in my current skill level.
Yeah, basically
And,
just make music. Don't worry about it.
yeah. Because you'll come back to it later and you'll be like, I'm glad I didn't finish this project and I left it for later.
Yeah. Oh, and oh, for goodness sake, do not delete projects.
Yes.
I have a bunch of like my really old projects that don't exist anymore because I just deleted them. Um, I kind of accidentally. But yeah, basically, it's my point still stands. If you don't like a song that you're making, don't just delete the whole project. Just leave it be. Even if you never work on it again, you can still come back on it like some other, like maybe years later, and you can either laugh at it, or you could say, hey, maybe I could fix this.
Yeah.
Just don't delete projects. There's no point.
Unless if you can feel the starts of summoning Satan with your music.
Yeah,
then throw it
maybe
away.
you should delete it.
Yeah, I've had that a few times where I'm just like, what is this? What drugs am I on? I'm starting to question my sobriety right now.
I mean,
All
I
right.
feel like I have deleted things, but it's mainly because it was just like one instrument and it's like, no.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fair
Like,
enough.
Like if you've already
If
started
you-
to make like some sort of 8-bar loop or something,
Yeah.
don't delete that. You can come back
Yeah.
to that project.
Yeah. If you just started it and it's like going absolutely nowhere, then sure.
Yes.
But if you've actually put a bit of progress on it, there's really no point
Yes.
deleting
That's
it.
what I'm saying. Like right from the get go, if it just doesn't
Yeah.
work.
Like I saw this clip from my Deadmau5 live stream that he was doing on Twitch, and he was making this really cool thing, and he was just like, I'm not feeling it. He just deletes it. I was just like, why did you do that? You could have made such a cool song.
Should have given it to other producers.
Yeah, he should have given it to the producers to like
Called
expand
loops.
on or something.
That would've
I don't
been
know.
cool.
He basically deleted. He started the project, and then deleted it in
You know what
front
you
of
could
his whole
do?
live stream audience.
What I would have done is I would have gone back on the live stream and try to recreate it.
Oh yeah. I'm sure someone has done that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, just recreate his song and then expand upon it yourself, and be like, hey, this is my song. He deleted it. It was never his.
Yeah.
That'd be
Pick up a
funny.
scrapped idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Never made it out, so
Yeah.
what can you say?
Yeah. I mean, I think I do that a lot with music. If I hear a piece of music and it inspires me, sometimes I'll try to imitate it. And the cool part is a lot of times because I never actually can completely imitate it, it ends up becoming its own song, which I think is great. And it also
Right.
kind of challenges me to choose a different style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done
course.
that a few times. Probably not quite as often as you do.
Yeah.
You're definitely more of that type of what do you call?
Producer.
Yes.
Yeah. That. You're a producer.
Yes.
Hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. I'm pretty sure we all had fun here. Yeah, see you guys possibly next time. Follow us on Instagram, on our website, all that stuff.
On Twitter,
SoundCloud.
Discord.
Yeah, it'll probably be in the link below.
Subscribe.
Should we
to
be
our
like the
YouTube.
classic YouTubers here?
No.
Subscribe or die. Like
Subscribe or die tomorrow.
Smash the like button.
I will show up in your comments if you do not click the bell. No,
You know, did
Don't
you know
do
that 99% of house fires happen to people who aren't subscribed to Phoenix Artistries?
yeah.
Um,
Wait, no, that's a bad statistic.
No, who aren't subscribed to Phoenix Artistries.
Yeah, that
You
leaves
know,
the 1%.
Do with that
info.
info. Do with that
It means
information.
that every person who follows Phoenix gets their house burned down
No,
multiple times.
No, I said greater than 99% of people who aren't subscribed to the Phoenix Artistrys channel
Just say 99%
die in
more
house
likely.
fires.
There we go.
Oh, no.
See you guys next time.
Okay, bye.
Bye.